speak on behalf of the volunteer alumni base here, certainly somebody who played for this team. What do you think does Tennessee need to do right now?
That is the whatever million-dollar question you want to ask, Rich. They made a decision as an administration to hire Greg Schiano. So let me touch that real quick. Obviously, the fan base wasn't real excited, and I feel like a lot of the fan base brought in Penn State to buttress their argument, but the main thing was they didn't get him. What stems from all of that, in my opinion, from the outside looking in, and this is no aspersions on the administration there, but it's something that I would have told them, you've got to settle the John Gruden question, because John was the people's choice yet again, and understandably so. And what I mean by settling it, Rich, is if you don't approach John and get a definitive answer one way or the other, or just even announce that you're not going in that direction, your fan base still thinks that he might be a possibility. So no matter who you hire otherwise, that's a thud. We went through it. Florida went through it years ago. Remember when they hired Ron Zook? The problem was they went and they visited with Bob Stoops and Mike Shanahan first, and they hired Ron Zook, and the Florida people lost their mind. This is a similar situation in Knoxville. Now they're talking about finding a Tennessee guy, bringing someone home, doing it that way. The problem is there's no obvious guy. If T. Martin is that guy, I'm all behind it. I love T. But T hasn't been a head coach. And I think that's part of the hesitancy of the administration right now. We're in a situation now where they really wanted a sitting head coach who's been there and done it before. And we have a team that's not very tough right now. And I think that's what the appeal was with Schiano. So if people think, okay, well, Schiano's record wasn't good, it wasn't this, it wasn't that, in a lot of ways, he was exactly what our program needed. Now, make the move, and face it, Rich, you know this better than anyone. What coach really is going to look at our job now and say, well, that's the place for me right now, because the administration made a decision. There's a howl of protest. They rescinded the decision. Are they going to be there for me when I need them? It's a legitimate question that each candidate's going to ask now.
Well, that's why to me it shouldn't matter if T. Martin's been a head coach somewhere before.
Yep.
He's been part of big-time program football. He's been a coach. He knows what it's like to coordinate offenses at big-time schools. Give him a shot if he wants it. I don't think you have a choice, Charles.
And I would jump in wholeheartedly and support him as much as we can. Remember, we also have Casey Rogers, who's a defensive coordinator with the New York Jets. He would be someone that we should take a good, hard look at as having Tennessee ties. You know, Philip Fulmer is still around the program. Coach Fulmer's still there. He's advising the president of the university on a number of things. I'm quite sure he's heavily involved at this stage of how are we going to get out of this. So if we're going to bring T home, bring him home, and let's surround him with the people that he needs, the support that he needs. Because right now, to your point, we're an abject mess. And if we're going to stay home, T. Martin's a great selection for that. If they're still trying to find someone out there, that's a tough one. And what I mean by out there is a sitting head coach who's had success elsewhere. I think it's going to be hard to pry that person away from their current place, because why would you? I think some of those coaches may maneuver and get better contracts where they are.
Like Mike Gundy?
That's a possibility. Here's the thing. Mike Gundy, who I happen to like a lot, and I've known Mike for years, trace his career. He's been at Oklahoma State as either a player or a coach 23 out of the last 26 years in Stillwater. In Stillwater, he's got a major rivalry with Oklahoma. They don't beat Oklahoma that often, even though they're competing better now than they ever have. But there's no serious outcry because he doesn't beat Oklahoma consistently that's going to be a problem for him and his job. In our place, we can have someone who can compete with Nick Saban and beat him. And guess what? No one's done that in a long time. We've got to be able to beat, in our own state now, Vanderbilt. Never thought I'd ever utter those words, Rich. Never thought I'd utter those words. We can't beat them right now. I mean, this is a whole different deal. So I just don't know if Mike Gundy is going to say to himself, after all those years in a really great spot, doing a fantastic job with tremendous resources and money, do I really want to go take on that challenge, or am I comfortable right here and doing well with a chance most years to compete for the Big 12?
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.